All right. I think we're going to go ahead and kick it off. Thank you, everyone, for joining. My name is Sam Bell. I am the partnership manager at 8Fig. We're really excited to kick this off. We're going to be covering a very interesting topic, which is selling smarter, not harder, how to successfully launch your product on Amazon. We have some very special panelists with us, Isabella Ritz, Mina Elias, and Tanner Leffner. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's going to be a great day. Before I kick it off and give you a little bit more background on them, I'm going to start with a little bit more background about your gracious host, 8Fig. We are, for anyone who's not familiar with us, we are a funding and growth platform that helps to plan, manage, and optimize cash flow for e-commerce sellers through continuous capital. You get the funds that you need when you need them according to your plan, all optimized with the goal of smoothing out your cash flow as it pertains to your supply chain. We keep it flexible and manageable with the ability to change your plan on the fly, sell more, sell less. Our growth plans can be adjusted on the go to reflect your unique needs. So enough about us. Let's move on to our panelists. First up, we are joined by Isabella Ritz with Ritz Momentum. Isabella serves as the CEO of Ritz Momentum, a company she founded in 2019. Ritz Momentum is your one-stop shop for Amazon Business Services, helping you with finding and creating a product for you to sell on Amazon, all the way to optimizing your Amazon listings, PPC campaigns, and more. The agency has grown to provide anything a new or more veteran experienced seller needs to scale their business and succeed on the world's largest marketplace. Isabella, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you. Next, we have...
Of course, thank you for having me here.
Of course, no, thanks so much for joining. Next, we have Mina Elias. Mina is a multiple seven-figure seller in the supplement industry. He is an avid investor, an Amazon PPC maven, you might call him, and the founder of Trivium Group, an Amazon advertising agency. Mina excels at developing cutting-edge supplements for different target audiences and combines his passion for supplements, his background in chemical engineering and chemistry, very impressive, and his expertise in PPC to crush the competition on Amazon. His goal is to change the way people view Amazon PPC and equip them to take back control and dominate their ads. Mina, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you as well.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Good, as am I. Last but not least, we are joined by Tanner Leffner. Tanner is a customer success manager at 8Fig. He has been working in the e-commerce space with small businesses all the way up to enterprise level companies for the majority of his career. His primary focus and goal is to empower sellers to grow and scale their businesses to 8 figures and beyond. Tanner, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. Excited.
All right. Lastly, before we begin, just a few housekeeping items for everyone who's joined. If you have questions during the event, please feel free to send them in the general chat or in the Q&A box. At the end of the session, we'll leave maybe 10 to 15 minutes for you to ask our panelists your questions. And finally, don't feel like you have to have the whole thing memorized. We're going to be recording this event and we'll be sending it to everyone who registered at the end. So you can refer back to it and go back to all the useful information we have within. Anyway, before we begin, one last thing. This is the final thing, I promise. We have a quick poll for everyone who's viewing. So if we could pull that up, just take 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds to answer these questions, and then we can go ahead and get started. Is the poll up?
Oh.
Just 1 second. We're going to get that poll up and then we're going to begin.
1 second.
All right, just take 5 to 10 seconds, answer that, and we will go ahead and get started.
Do you want us to answer too?
If you feel so inclined to answer, yes, please. Please go ahead.
Of course, we're launching products all the time. I actually cannot.
I figured I already knew what your answer would be, but. All right, I think that's probably enough. Okay, so without further ado, we are going to pass it over to Isabella to get us started here. Isabella, please begin.
Of course. Yeah, give me a second. I will share my screen. And also, guys, during the webinar, when you have questions, please ask them, drop them to the Q&A or to the chat if the chat will be available for everyone, because everything we're doing is following you and guiding you through A to Z, how to develop your product and how to validate your product. And will be based on the product of one of our clients that we're launching. Generally speaking, right now we have to receive the sample from China for this specific product. And Mina is the one who will be launching and developing the product, or not developing and running the campaigns for this product probably beginning of June. So this is how we're going to workshop and discuss this product and the launching campaign and the launching strategy and everything else. So because it's a brand new product, because it's a brand new name, because everything is brand new, we're asking you, please drop the questions, because generally speaking, it's a live case study that you will be able to implement to yourself in the future, or maybe you will be able to implement right now just by looking at some type of criteria that we've been developing here. So we chose the product that is not the simple one. This product is based on the client's budget, and I'm going to show you how we've been validating this product idea. The whole case study is based on brand name, product design, A/B testing. So we went through like all this process. So what we're looking first initially is the numbers. So you have to go with the product numbers and validate every single number before you will say yes to the product or to the variations or to something else. And you can tell me like, oh, Bella, why did you pick this like pickleball? Or like, this is so common, like super saturated product, but not. If you will look into this product deeper, so first, this product has a huge potential when you will look into the keywords, such as pickleball set of 4. And when you will start looking at the market with the pickleball set of 4, and I will show you the numbers in a little bit, you will find out that the competitors are not actually selling much this set of 4. And this is where opportunity is coming from. And this is where we're starting to understand, will we be able to compete on a market or not? We will be able to be on the page 1 with a low amount of review in the very beginning or not? Will Mina be able to advertise this product, or he will not? Because by creating this product, we have to think how we are going to run the PPC campaigns. And I see in the chat right now, we have one of our clients, Victor, who is also in the process of developing his product, who was also worried like why this product is going to be on Amazon if this market is saturated. Sometimes it looks like it is, but when you're looking at some specific keywords, you're also looking at the numbers of the potential sales of those keywords, and then you're looking at the competitors of those keywords. So, and if everything is relevant, you understand like, okay, we have only 50 or 30 competitors. Not all of them are being ranked on a page 1, and we were able to crush all these competitors based on the keywords. And not all of them are actually advertising the way how we wanted to. In this case, we will be able to make this product easy for us to launch with a huge opportunity for the client to see the profit from this product, and we will simpler Mina's job when he will start advertise the product via PPC. So here we can see the potential numbers of Amazon FBA fee, referrals fee, and this product is making a lot of money because it's a high margin product. So in average, we will be able to sell it at $89, $99, $110. On top, when we've been looking at this product, we looked into Amazon Product Opportunity Explorer, and we've been using 5 different software. We're showing here just 3 of them, but usually we're using Seller Tools, Helium 10, Data Dive, Amazon Product Opportunity Explorer, and Seller Tools extension on top, exactly the one that you can see right now. So, and we can see the numbers of the keywords, the keyword demand that we can have per year, like pickleball cell, pickleball paddle, and those keywords are actually just the beginning of this is the foundation of the niche. If one will start digging deeper, you will be able to see how many other keywords we have, and you can also see how the growth is happening over the year. It's like 73% of growth year by year just for this specific niche. So the niche is growing like crazy, and especially because this product also recession proof. Why? Because a lot of people, when they're not going to like any gyms or entertain themselves with the travels, they will start doing the different type of entertainment and sports at home and just going around their area where they are living. So every single product we're trying to find is recession proof, which means it's evergreen. People will always use it, so it will not go anywhere. What we can see also here that based on the scoring assessment, the product opportunity is very, very high, and profit launch and the post launch is insane. So you will be able to, our client will be able to make like hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially when he will start expanding this specific niche. We also, when you remember like a couple of minutes ago, I was mentioning that we've been looking into pickleball paddle set of 4, and this is where we're at. So when we're looking at this specific keyword, and by using Helium 10 X-ray, we can see how many competitors with not a big amount of reviews are on a page 1, and they are selling the set of 4. So at this point, it doesn't matter actually if this market will have thousands of reviews or small amount of reviews, because everyone can be on a page 1 just because the amount of competitors is not huge. On top, you can tell me like, no, they're here like some type set of 4, and they are not selling for a huge price. It's like $39 and it's not $79. Why it's happening? So if you are not learning your product, you will not be able to understand how you're supposed to approach. But because we're using the reverse engineering, so we're not going just based on what our competitors sell on Amazon, we're based on the consumer's avatar. So we started to learn what is happening, like why some of the products are $39 and other ones are like $99, right? Like you can see right here, $99, $85, and another one $99. But some of them are like 22. How you can sell high quality products for $22? Genuinely speaking, impossible. So the code and the actual structure of the product matters. So people that actually want to play, not like the kids game, or who want to play tournaments, or people who want to play for the long term, they are looking for the specific code and the layers of this product. We've been learning on the association of this specific sport, how this product is supposed to be layered and how it's supposed to be built. On top, we found that not a lot of competitors are actually using the very important keyword, which is USAPA approved. USAPA is the association of this specific product. And at this point, you can be lost by saying like, oh my gosh, what guys did you actually do? So this is how we approach in every single product to make sure our clients will be able to succeed. And when we looked at like this USAPA approved, we found out that if we will make this product approved by this association, which is actually in Miami, in Florida, and it makes our life easier, we're also based in Florida, and our client is from Miami. We are going through the process of verification of those specific paddles with the association. So we will be able to use this USAPA approved in the title, on the box, and this is how we will be also on top. And the leaders, not just only leaders, just the players, they will be able to use those pickleball paddles during the tournaments. So the layers of the choosing the product and the approach matters. So you cannot just say, oh, I found an opportunity buying it in China and now I'm ready to go and sell. So here on the X-ray, we're also showing how, like with the low amount of reviews, you can be on Amazon and sell different type of the paddles and the balls. The balls we're selling as one of the child ASINs as a variation, because we know how people are buying sometimes additional balls, they're breaking them and they're like exhausting, so they need the brand new ones. This product will be launched as a variation because it will be set of 2, set of 4, and different type of balls. And then we're doing the deep dive with the data dive to understand how this market looks like and to understand what semantic core, how many keywords we have opportunity with. And as you can see, we have a couple, about 10 high volume keywords. And we have a lot of different type of the keywords with like 2, 3, 4, 5,000 searches a month. We can also see that it's evergreen niche with the higher demand and purchase rate during the Q3. And here I promise to show you how the sales look like. So the trends from 2017 to 2022 been going like crazy. So look, like the demand was 20,000 searches a month, and now it's at 250,000 a month. So like it's really crazy. So then we're looking at the competitors. We're looking at their sales, how they are growing. We're also looking at the amount of sales, not just based on like yearly. We're looking also over time. And we're looking at the niche expansion, as I mentioned previously, that we have to understand if we will be able to add more variations and launch more ASINs there. And here we are. The leaders of the market that are selling a lot on Amazon, they are not being ranked. So this is the data dive screenshot, and you can see the green lights. The green lights means when you will launch this product, you will be able to go on a page 1 for the majority of the keywords, because none of the competitors are being ranked. So if you will look at the number 2, they are selling for $250,000 a month, but they are not ranked at all. So they're like placing at the 65, not ranked, not ranked, not ranked, like a 300 or 7. This is the places where they're not ranked at all. Min is saying this is crazy. So yeah, moving forward, we've been talking about sizes. I'm not going to dive super deep here because just to save the time, but we've been looking at into the sizes, what's supposed to be the size of the paddle, why it's supposed to be the specific thickness, and etc., etc., etc. So this is what we created. How we created the set and why we approached this, we've been looking into the people's pain points. Why some people are buying set of 4, what type of grid they're looking at, how it's supposed to be, if it will be 100% associations way, what are actually our clients our buyers are looking to match it, what are the requirements, or they're buying something else because maybe it's lighter or whatever reason it might be. We found out that the balls supposed to have specific amount of the holes inside. We never knew. So we had to find the supplier that can actually create and produce the manufacture the balls with the amount of holes there. So when you guys are going to some type of the products and then you're launching the product, you might find out like nobody's buying. Like you might be ranked, you might be spending a lot of money on PPC and et cetera, but nobody will buy it. It's happening a lot because you do not understand your product. So you have to learn how your product's supposed to look like before you launch this product on Amazon. And we've been, of course, we learned that it's supposed to be the specific bag, and we learned that it's supposed to, the part of the set supposed to be the grip wrap and grip tape. So we went also through logo and brand creations. I will very quickly show you that we've been looking at the uspto.gov, we've been looking at the hashtags, we've been looking at the like the variety of different Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts, so making sure our client will be able to expand with his brand name online via social media. And then we started to creating his logo. And the goal is when you're creating the brand and when you're creating the product, you have to make sure that your product will be better than your competitor before you will launch this product. So on the picture, this picture on the right side, this is the logo we created. This is the competitor. So we've been losing several polls when we've been trying to compare our job against competitor. And I believe we lost 3 polls. Those polls were doing via Pickful. So number 1, number 2, number 3 were losing. We kept losing here. And when we recreated number 4, we won. So we are winning because we're listening to the target audience. So we're asking, what do you guys like or don't like about the brand logo, right? So if you were in a position to choose sport brand to shop from based on the logo, which one would you choose? So it's a specific question that we're asking to the audience to make sure we're making the final correct and right decision for our client. So when we won here, this is how we are approaching some type of the processes. So the moment we won here, we started doing the design. And before I will design of the product, before I will jump into that, I want to ask Mina about the PPC. So when you already know, like when you're receiving the product, before you launch, how you approaching PPC, like first PPC campaigns, and do you need actually the reports from your client with the keywords they want to target, or you're like, whatever, I will find out everything by myself?
Yeah, very good question. I think it's the second option. It's more like usually 99% of the time it's like whatever, we're gonna do the work, because I think a big part of Amazon advertising, as much as we try to control and to anticipate, and I think this is where I see so many people falling, is they're like, but I'm 100% sure this is the right keyword. I should be converting. I should have a good conversion rate. But it's actually the opposite. It's more like you're testing things that you're putting your best guess, the most educated guess. You're launching campaigns in auto, broad, phrase, exact, product targeting, expanded ASIN, category targeting, everything. And you wait for the results, and you have these tight parameters. So when we're launching, we're taking advantage of 2 things. Number 1, we're covering our bases. Now, part of this, let's break it up into 3 phases. Part of it is discovery. So auto campaigns, broad and phrase and expanded ASIN for things that are general, like we think, okay, like these must make sense. Pickleball set, paddles for pickleball, whatever. Pickleball, just general keywords that will give us the highest chance of discovering keywords that will convert profitably. And just because they converted profitably once doesn't mean that when we launch them in their own campaigns, but it's We're just running after leads when we're launching. The second part of it is the relevancy. So this is like an unfelt thing, but Isabella, I'm sure you know this. If you target other competitors that are very like high selling, very relevant to you, and Amazon starts seeing that they're converting on your listing coming from that ASIN, they will start ranking you way better. Your indexation will go like 10 times higher, because Amazon's saying, wow, this product, we didn't know where it belongs in the catalog, but now we know that it's actually taking sales from these 10 very closely relevant products that are big sellers. It must be relevant to all these keywords. And so that's what we're trying to trigger. Again, this is like, it's the algorithm that no one knows anything about, but it's more of like we're feeling that this is happening. And we're noticing it for products that people are like, I have a small budget, I can't do anything. And okay, so we're not going to target the top competitor in the space. And we see the indexation, because we're tracking number of keywords indexed and number of keywords you're in the top 50 positions week over week. So we're seeing that the growth is 10 times slower. But when we're going after these aggressive, ASINs, your ACOS is 180%, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. But we now start seeing that you're indexing much faster, and the number of keywords that you have in position 1 to 50 is way more. And if we take a step back and we think about like, what is the goal of advertising? The goal of Amazon advertising is you are spreading this web, this net at the top level to get impressions on all of the relevant keywords possible that you can think of. Now, so initially we think we know some of them. So we start launching all these campaigns, and then we start discovering more keywords. So we launch more campaigns, and now we're getting 1 million impressions, right? And we're covering that top, and a certain percentage of those impressions convert into clicks, and that's dependent on your click-through rate. And for each keyword, how you compare to the competition, you're going to have a certain click-through rate. And then based on the number of people in your listing, certain percentage will convert. That's your conversion rate. That's the funnel. So, it makes sense that these impressions that you're getting, obviously, the more that you're ranked on position 1 to 50 across more keywords, you're going to have more of the organic impressions. We're initially paying for as many impressions as we can. You don't pay for when you get the impression, but you pay when you get the click. But if we can also leverage that to get an equal number of impressions organically, again, we don't pay for the impressions, but then we won't pay for the clicks when it happens. Then you're like in that funnel, you're growing that top part. Okay. And then you start working like how Isabella's doing all this PickFu stuff. So she did it initially, and she gave it her best shot. But let's say that she launched and okay, click-through rate is 0.18%. It's not great. So she's constantly saying, okay, I know there's 3 things that I can control like very quickly that will improve this click-through rate. Your price. Okay, so let's see if we take the price from $79.99, let's make it $74.99. And you notice, did the click-through rate go from 0.18 to 0.25, or did it go from 0.18 to 0.19 and did make a difference and you just lost money? Okay. The second thing is reviews. The more reviews that you're getting, your notice your click-through rate is increasing. And then finally, your main image. So she could go back and say, okay, well, we tested all this main image stuff. I thought we were the best, but what about now that it's live? She does a few other experiments, shows the balls more, changes something, maybe like on the paddle, it makes like words bigger that says set of 4, complete professional set, blah, 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 whatever, something like that. It's not actually on the packaging, but you can make it look like it's on the packaging. And now all of a sudden it goes from 0.18 to 0.25. And so now you're leveraging that same, impression top of the funnel and getting more clicks. And at the same conversion rate, you're going to get more sales. And then, the final part is, okay, what can we do on the conversion rate side? The rest of the images, videos, questions on the listing, A+ content, bullet points, obviously reviews and all this stuff will help too. So anything else that's on the listing. So we're constantly fighting, to expand those 3 segments of the funnel, which is the impressions, the click-through rate, and the conversion rate. And to expand the impressions, part of it is paid and part of it is unpaid. Obviously, we'd like for it all to be unpaid, but you have to pay, and then eventually you'll start getting unpaid. So we're spending money to show up for all these keywords. However much we can tolerate the pain of loss, we'll tolerate, right? Because your ACOS is 120%, you're not converting. You're spending $15 in no sales, you're not converting, and so on and so forth. However, at the same time, you're getting all of these organic impressions too, because your organic ranking is going up. So that's also like a metric to keep in mind. And then, so in the launch, we're like, okay, the three things. Number one, exploration, discovering as many keywords as possible, showing up the max number of impressions. Number two, the relevancy, so that we can get that organic stuff. Also, the more that you convert, the faster that you convert, even at a loss, your organic rank starts going up, because Amazon starts thinking that you're a good product. I know a lot of people say, if the conversion rate is bad, I don't think so. I think we've clearly demonstrated with Isabella, your conversion rate can be horrible, but we can get you from 0 to 80 units a day, like straight line, because we're spending so much money and the organic rank goes up. Now it's our job, once you're here, to improve the click-through rate and the conversion rate, so that instead of your total ACOS being 70%, it can go down to 35%. Okay, so that's the way that we think about it. And then the final piece, which Isabella talked about when she was doing the data dive and looking at the outlier keyword, is how can we capitalize where other people aren't, right? And again, and this is okay in the launch, because these are opportunities for us to be profitable when it's very hard to be profitable in the beginning, but it's going to make up a small portion of your revenue. Ultimately, it's good, it helps, everything helps, right? And PPC isn't about winning 3 keywords, the main keywords, and dominating, but it's more about like, if you can get 1% of everything, you'll have a huge part of the pie. And so the outlier keywords help. Every small keyword that you can win on helps, and that's why we're launching these new campaigns, because sometimes the long tail keywords are the ones that are going to be more profitable in the beginning versus the short term. The short term, the short tail, sorry, and then the short tail keywords, those are the ones that over time you eventually want to win or do some significant damage there, because that's what's going to carry you. And when you get to eventually a good click-through rate, good conversion rate, you're going to be making a lot of money. So hopefully that was a good explanation on what our selection process.
I love it, Mina. It's like what Mina is also mentioned is when you guys are paying, we are paid to play game. Like when you're starting with this one, generally speaking, a lot of Amazon sellers, especially when they're the new ones, they're scared to spend a lot of money on PPC. But the long term, they're spending more money on PPC, because what is happening initially, if you spend a lot, or if you spend more, like let's say $200 to $400 a day, if you can, because sometimes Amazon will not let you spend that much just because it's not a lot of potential for this spend. However, if you're playing with this product, that will be possible, like $200 to $400 a day, you are playing long term, because initially when you're launching your product, you have this honeymoon period, and you are being ranked super fast based on all these criteria that Mina was mentioning. And when you are advertising on someone else's listings, you are also going pretty fast, high on top, and your goal is to cover up your ACOS with your TACOS, because like sometimes your ACOS will be extremely high, like 300, but your TACOS will be 25 or 30, and it doesn't matter already how much you're paying for your advertisement, because you got your organic sales. This is what's happening when you're sometimes doing search on Amazon, and you can see someone is being advertised on the first placement, and they're also number 1 on the page 1 in organic. And some sellers like, oh, I want to stop my PPC campaign. Wrong, because if you will stop your PPC campaign, you will not be on this organic number 1 anymore. We have two questions. Speaking of PPC, how can I save on PPC costs and still perform? Great question, Mina.
Okay, how can I save on PPC and still perform? Okay, few ways. obviously your conversion rate and is going to play a huge factor, and your click-through rate. By the way, the higher the click-through rate on a keyword, you'll notice that the cost per clicks go down. So without touching PPC, right? How can you be more efficient? Is focus on click-through rate and conversion rate improvement. You should be running one test a week, and there's a lot of things that are in your control. How many people here are asking questions on their listing? You take your buyer account and you ask every single question possible, 5 questions a day, for 60 days. Every single question possible. So if someone is unsure about your product, they can ask the question and get an answer right away. So things like that. If you need creatives and no limit creatives, by the way, obviously I would recommend using someone like Isabella, right? But if you can't afford it, because I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money, no limit creatives is like $400 a month, unlimited creatives. You should be creating one creative every single day or something like that, and testing one creative a week, because every 1% in your conversion rate, for the same PPC spend, for the same 50, if you have $50 in PPC and $100 in sales, 50% ACOS, whatever, or let's say 50% tacos. If your conversion rate increases, from let's say 10% to 20%, then your ACOS and your tacos goes from 50 to 25, or it can go from 25 to 12 and a half. And you can go wildly, like from not profitable to wildly profitable from the conversion. So that's not the number one thing I would look at. If you're like, for my same PPC, how can I be more efficient? Second thing is, I think tightness in your parameters. My system is pretty simple. I know my product costs $30. If you spend $15 and no sales, whether it's in a search term or a keyword, if it's a keyword like an exact keyword or product targeting, I'm going to lower the bid. Probably going to lower the bid by 5 cents every few days until like the keyword stops spending or it starts becoming profitable, because it's moved down the ranking. If you're a search term, very harsh. $15 in spend and no sales, immediately added as negative. So a lot of times, if you have a very strict auditing process, you're immediately cleaning out. Now, if you start noticing that because of all of this like tightness, you're not making money anymore, you might have to like loosen things up, and you might have to accept the fact that it's because your product is not converting that well. It could be that you need to reduce the price. It could be that you again need more reviews or things like that. But sometimes you can't fix the PPC because you need the conversion. And I'll tell you how to calculate it. It's very, very simple. Go calculate look at your number of sessions in the last 30 days. Let's say it's 100 sessions. Look at your PPC spend. Let's say it's $100. So $100 in PPC spend gave you 100 sessions. That means that you paid $1 per session, per person to come into your listing. Then look at your conversion rate. Let's say it's 10%. 10% conversion rate means you need 10 sessions, or 10% unit session percentage means you need 10 sessions, 10 people to come into the listing to make one sale. So if 10 people need to come into the listing to make one sale, and you spend $1 per person, that means it's $10 for you to make one sale. That's your cost of acquisition. There's 2 ways to improve your cost of acquisition. So if your profit per unit is now $9, so your Amazon sale price is 20, your cost of goods is $5, your Amazon fees is $6, so you're left with $9 profit per unit. That's before ads. And your cost of acquisition is $10. Now you're losing $1 per sale. So how do you drop that $10? There's 2 ways: to either get more sessions for the same PPC spend, which means to increase your organic rank, or to spend less money on PPC and get the same sessions, right? Which is, being more profitable to your PPC, or to increase your conversion rate. Because if you increase your conversion rate from 10% to 20%, it means you need only 5 people to come into the listing to make one sale, 5 sessions, which means 5 times 1, that becomes $5. So it's like, this is your cost per acquisition, and to drop it, you either increase conversion rate or drop your cost of session, which means more organic sessions or lower spend for the same PPC sessions. And that's the balance that you're constantly working on.
I love it, Mina. And as a recommendation, if you will ask us which approach will be the best, increase your conversion rate. By increasing your conversion rate, you can always scale your PPC, because the goal of PPC for everyone, like us included, we're trying to chase higher conversion because at this point we can scale. And when we're able to scale, that means you will be able to make more money, you're making more money, Mina is making more money. And we have a good karma because we recommended you to Mina. So let's jump forward. We have some more questions, guys. We will answer them right after I will finish with the presentation and showing you how you're actually going about testing your product. And we're also going to talk to Tanner about if you are choosing this approach with the product, how this one, for example, because the potential of sales of this product, one will get to like 50 reviews, is about $50,000 a month. What will happen with how 8Fig will able to like help you to grow with your business if you will be at this revenue, for example, like in 3 months, because it's pretty simple and easy to get to 50K with this specific product. So we've been testing ourselves against competitors. That was already easier because we learned with with the logo, how they're performing, what they're selling, and we've been learning the trends as well. So we launched PPC, we launched Poll, and we've been able to win immediately. We've been targeting Amazon Prime subscribers. The target audience here is pretty wide, but at the same time narrowed. So we've been looking at Amazon users only to make sure we can target people who are professionals and not professionals at the same time. And we won from the first try. We created the variation kind of with the neon colors, and we won here as well. So the second variation is a winner at the same time. And we also created the set of 2 to make sure our set of 2 is also winning against competitors. As you can see, we've been creating 2 different type of the designs. We put both of them here to make sure we're not just going with one version. Maybe we can use something else. Sometimes both of them are very close, and we're using both as a variations because we can make more money with that. And of course, after we created the products, we've been going into the actual potential conversion rate. So this is what Mina was talking about when we have to show the picture, what is what's supposed to be on the picture, and we will add here set of 4 on the side to make sure we're converting much better and much faster. Sometimes it's not enough for people to understand that it's set of 4. And we're also showing how, like, because I told you initially, we've been looking what is the main pain point for the buyers, and they're looking for the specific layers, how we have to have the fiberglass, how we have to have different type of ergonomic handle, and this is supposed to be a honeycomb core here. So I will not overload you with this information and overwhelm you, but this is something we have to show to our potential buyers, because this listing is about, this slide is about conversion. So all those, of course, we will add, as you can see here, we've been skipping inches because we actually receiving sample today. So when we'll receive the sample, we will measure everything and we will include those inches, amount of inches into the listing as well. So we've been showing every single slide based on the pain points to make sure our conversion is higher initially, so we will be able to win on a market. And if this conversion will be low, because we don't know what we don't know, we're trying to match this conversion and to make this conversion as high as possible based on the research, based on the learning the audience, based on the learning the products. But the moment Mina will launch the campaign, in 2 weeks, he will come back to us and he will tell us, Bella, this conversion is high or this conversion is low. We need to fix A, B, C, D. And then we're starting to fix the problems, because you, like, in 99% of the cases, you cannot predict how your product is going to behave. You hope that it will be much and everything on the market. You understand that like for now, everything is good to go, but then you will still have to adjust some things. Sometimes it's just the small thing that is increasing your conversion is crazy. So this is the listings that we created, and you have to make sure that your listing when you're launching your product is actually sample just got delivered. Thank you. I will show you later in my stories on Instagram or agency. Make sure you follow so you'll be able to see how this sample look like. Yeah, when we're working on the conversion, we are answering the questions: why I'm supposed to buy the product, what I am buying, what benefits I'm getting when I'm buying this product, what is the what I'm losing if I'm not buying this product, and comparing to the competitors. And comparison chart we usually put into the last slide, or we're putting it into the EBC content. So here you can see like those listings are very similar to each other. The difference is with the design. And of course, we're doing the SEO copywriting, and the SEO copywriting is also based on data dive. Why? Because we have to make sure our ranking juice is the combination of your targeting keywords and the keywords that are targeting relevant long tail keywords and different type of the keywords. They all are coming up together into your listing, so you will be able to win your competitors and crush your competitors based on the keywords. So sometimes you can see listings are pretty strong, but they're still not on a page one. And here Mina comes up, because if Mina is converting the listing and if Mina is making sales and listing is converting, then all those keywords that we created for SEO, they are being indexed. And that means you're ranking on page 1, page 2, and top 5 and top 10, right? If the purchase is not happening, your product is not being ranked. The opposite is happening, not opposite, like different stuff is happening in the first 30 to 40 days, because when your product is going live, your indexing is happening no matter what, because it's a honeymoon. You're just running your PPC, you're getting impressions, and you're being ranked just because it's a honeymoon. But after the honeymoon, the situation will change. And unless you will be purchased by your buyers, you will not have any ranking on Amazon. So answering one of the questions, how the ranking is happening. So this is the ranking juice we created. This is the ranking juice assembly for the title. This one is for the bullet points, and another one is for the description. So you have to make sure your ranking juice is better than your competitors before you launch the product. And if you're launching the product, if your launching is happening like later, you have to reevaluate your SEO, and you have to reevaluate your numbers based on the how many competitors right now is on the market, and if something changed before you launch, because sometimes people are launching their products like 6 or 8 months later after the product been delivered and after the product was developed. And here we're just showing you the ranking juice for every single variation that we created to make sure, again, we're ahead our competitors. And this is the EBC content. The EBC content also covers every single bullet point, and making sure we also have this customer experience at the moment when they are buying the product and they're making a decision to buy the product. They feel good about it. You know, sometimes you're shopping for something and you don't feel good about what are you buying. You don't feel good about what are you going to purchase, because it's not really what you wanted. But we all love to feel accomplished with the purchase. and to be able to brag, like, look what I have, because your product looks good. This is why a lot of people are buying brands versus some like generic stuff. This is the EBC for neon set, and this is the EBC for the purple set we created. And of course, we created the store, and the store right now is about those 3 products plus the bowls. And we didn't forget about the insert card. This is the very important part that you guys are supposed to do when you're creating your product and when you're launching, because you have to collect your email list. And I'm sure that Tanner will let us know that when you have the email list, the future acquisition of your company is much higher. You have a higher potential to be sold, because email list is your golden asset. So you will be able to launch your next product much faster. You will be able to get the future feedback from your clients. Like, you can do a lot of different things with your email list, and you will be able to launch lookalike audience when you're driving external traffic. So this is it about the product development. If you have any questions, I tried to go as fast as it's humanly possible today, because we have also to meet some requirements from 8Peak that they asked us like to be faster. And I see some questions. Do you send polls for this response? We do not send these polls to anybody. We're using these polls for ourselves. We're using Pickfu to run the polls, if this is the question. Can we get a copy of this project proposal after the call? No, it's for our internal use only. So we are not sending this case study, but you're always more than welcome to jump on a call with our team, return.com, and we're always happy to answer all your questions. Yeah, we need to pass okay, it's the internal question. Yeah.
Let's, if we could let Tanner hop in and chat a little bit about growing through 8Fig before we get to the questions, maybe we could save a little bit of those.
Oh yeah, of course, let's do that. Yeah, of course, let's do that.
I promise we'll answer all of your questions at the end of the presentation, but Tanner, please go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, I know y'all could go for hours on this stuff. It's super interesting. Thank you so much for all the information. You know, I'm learning stuff from y'all as well during this presentation. So it's been fantastic. Isabella, Mina, both of you guys have been awesome. So I'm kind of here to talk about the other side of that, right? So you're ready to start or launch a new product. You're ready to get a new product started on your store, put it up for sale, get everything together. Have you considered, you know, the cost it's going to be to get that started? What's it going to cost you to launch the product specifically? Mina service is great. You know, they're taking care of the legwork for you, right? Doing that research, getting the product ready to go. But we've got a little graphic here that kind of explains some of that cost for getting a product started if you are, for instance, just doing it on your own. So a little bit of information here, but what we found is that 69% of the time, the majority of sellers are spending less than $500 to get their product just off the ground, get it started. There are a lot of other costs associated with that, right? You've got product development costs, manufacturing, shipping, logistics, Amazon's fees, advertising, marketing, all that good stuff. There's a lot of money that can go into it. And so I want to speak a little bit to how 8Fig can help with some of that. If we can move on to the next slide here. So we've got some strategies for scaling. Of course, 8Fig is a growth platform for e-commerce sellers. We work with many experienced sellers to fund their current supply chain costs so that they can maybe pivot and focus on a new product or focus on a new line that they're working on releasing. Couple strategies here on the slide. Of course, increasing production, that's our game. We want to make sure that you get the capital you need to support your supply chain, increase production, and scale your brand, your product, the company in general. Expanding distribution is another great thing to do. As your sales increase, you know, you definitely want to consider spreading your reach to other markets, right? Other parts of the US or maybe overseas. Your customer base needs to be as wide as possible so you reach as many people as possible. Optimizing pricing is another great thing to be focused on, right? If your price is too high, obviously you're going to sell a little bit less. If it's too low, then you're not making enough money. So you got to find a nice balance there. And that, I would argue, is probably a really hard thing to do. Moving on a little bit here, investing in advertising is also a great strategy, right? Marketing is something that a lot of people focus on. There's a fine line though, right? Between just enough marketing and overspending on marketing. You don't want to put yourself in a hole, but it's definitely super important. Lots of sources for that, right? Social media, there's PPC, utilize Mina, all of your other sources as well, utilize as many of them as you can. And I personally would recommend to try and keep that cost as low as possible while still being effective. And then finally on this slide, innovation. And that can mean anything, right? You want to iterate on your product. If you have feedback coming in from customers, you want to take that feedback, go to your manufacturer, make it better, release a new version, right? Variants, anything that you can do that will tell the customer, hey, we're paying attention, we're making changes, we're making it better for you, will not only increase your reach, but increase your return rate for all your customers. Moving on here. This is kind of where I talk a little bit more about 8Fig. So this is just a little visual of what our platform looks like when you get everything all set up. I'll go through this real quick. Our main goal, of course, is to support your supply chain. We want to help you avoid stockouts, keep your ranking high, maintain your cash flow. We want to make sure you've got money in your pocket, money for the product itself, money for marketing, all of that good stuff. Taking a look at what we call the line lab here. This is our visual representation of your supply chain. You can see in each individual line and each individual stage, you can specify what your cost and needs are. We've got deposits for the manufacturer. We've got the balance if you've got payment terms with them, freight, logistics, marketing. We can help you with all of that stuff and make sure you stay on track and give you an opportunity to continue growing your brand, continue growing that product, obviously with the ultimate goal of making you an 8-figure seller, hence the name. And we do find that stockouts are a big deal, right? It happens a lot. I think I saw a couple people in the chat say that they've stocked out really quickly, right? 2.5 months, I think is what I saw, excuse me. And if you're selling on Amazon, when you stock out, your ranking starts to fall really quickly. And that can be a big problem for a lot of people. So if you are at any point in time considering supplementing your cash flow so that you can continue to grow your product, or maybe pivot your own funds to focus on launching a new product, please do reach out to us. I'd be more than happy to speak with you personally. I've got an entire team of great people that are happy to do the same as well. And we can open it up here for some Q&A. I think I might be stealing Sam's thunder, though.
No, that's all right. Thank you, Tanner. That was super insightful. I think we do have a few questions that we want to get to and make sure we do it within the interest of time. The first one I would like to cover specifically comes from Elizabeth. Okay, so my first product sold out in 2.5 months with my social media help, but my return rate was around 14%. $40 revenue with 39% profit, but my returns are killing me and I'm thinking of dropping the product. Do you guys have any advice?
Well, first we have to analyze your product, right? So we have to understand what is going on, and 14% is not that bad. So first of all, if you have some type of the return, you did a good job. It just probably you need some type of help from outside to take a look at your conversion rate and take a look at your PPC campaigns. For example, Mina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your team is doing free review of the account, right?
Yeah, free audits. So we'll review all the ads and everything and give the recommendations on how to fix it.
Yeah, so we do the same thing regarding your listing conversion, and we can take a look what is going on. And again, if to my understanding, if you did something wrong with overall the time with your stocking or something like that, 8Fig will help you to to supply more inventory while we're fixing the problem with your product. So you will be able to order more, because if the PPC will be fixed, if the conversion rate would be fixed, you will need more inventory. So, and then at this point, I think will help you to just grow faster and quicker. But again, we have to validate and check what is going right and wrong.
Can
And
I
Tanner,
take
also the question. Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to
go
take
ahead.
60 seconds to explain funding because I think a lot of people
Yeah.
you don't really realize like how to calculate
Yeah.
like how it works, right? So this is the way that I would look at it. Let's say that you're selling a product and it's selling 1,000 units a month on Amazon. It's a $30 product, so it's $30,000 a month, and you're making $5K a month in profit. So if you wanted 3 months of inventory, that's 3,000 units. And approximately 15,000 in total profit. So if on day one you place the PO, takes about a month to get shipped to Amazon, that's 30 days. Takes 3 months to sell, that's another 90 days, so 120 days, and then 2 weeks more. So let's say 135 days until Amazon pays your last payout, and you get that $15,000 in profit. So then you're like, okay, for 3,000 units. Cost of goods $5, something like that. That's what is that? 3,000 times 5, 15,000. So 15,000. You take a loan from 8Fig for 15,000 to fund your inventory for those 3 months, and they're gonna say, okay, you have 135 days. You're gonna pay it back in 135 days. We're gonna charge you $1,000 or whatever. Usually, what is it like? Something like 10-15 cents per unit, something like that, in that range. So let's say it's 10 cents per unit for 3,000, that's $300. Let's say it's 20 cents per unit, it's $600. So you're basically paying $600 in interest, but you're gonna make $15,000 in profit. So that's the way to start thinking about it. And you think about it per ASIN. So you're like, one ASIN, I need this funding, this cash right now, because I don't want to keep waiting, because $5,000 in profit is going to come in, and then I have all this other shit expenses. So I'm just going to take the lump sum and invest it in 3 months of inventory, knowing that historically I'm going to get $15,000 in profit, and it's going to cost me to get that cash from day one, whatever, like the 10 cents and 15 cents, 20 cents per unit, which is total $600. So you're paying $600 to get cash that allows you to get 15,000 in profit. And then, you use your profits to launch another product, which then eventually builds up to, 1,000 units a month, and then you can keep repeating that, and using other people's money. You pay a small fee to use other people's money to fund your inventory and cash flow. You can get the money right now. You don't have to wait for Amazon's payouts. And then, you're losing $600, $200 a month, in terms of interest, but you're able to scale much faster. So that's the way that I would look at utilizing capital, and how to scale by using other people's money instead of waiting, because yes, there's a cost of that money, but the cost is $600 versus 15K that you're going to make in profit. Even 10K, 5K, it's still a lot. So that's just an explanation, because I know a lot of people, when they ask me about funding and they don't understand and how loans work, and they think it's like the bank stuff. So I just want to clear this up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tanner or Sam.
Yeah, no, you make a great point. That's definitely a great way to look at it. I think what I do want to touch on, based on what you said there, is kind of that 120-day time frame, right? From your initial investment, paying your manufacturer, your supplier to get the products built and sent out, to when you actually receive your money from Amazon. And that is that can cause a major cash flow crunch, right? I don't know what I would do if I didn't have any income for 120 days. I don't know what I would do, to pay my bills, or to even worse, order another round of product once your original order starts selling. So that's where we can come in, right? That's a really great area for us to jump in and help supplement your cash flow during that 120-day time frame, or however long it is. We have clients that have a 6-month turnaround. We have clients that are ready to sell in 2 weeks. But that's a really great opportunity for us to partner with businesses to supplement that cash flow, make sure they can continue ordering as their product sells, so they don't experience those stock out issues while they're waiting for Amazon to finally sign over the paycheck. I think that's our primary function, right? That's what we aim to support people for. Launching a new product can be a little bit of a different situation. What 8Fig can do for you, if you are considering launching a new product, which of course we all should be, right? is help you fund an existing well-performing product while you pivot your personal focus to launching that new product. You know, whether you're working with Isabella, whether you're working with Mina, we're happy to help supplement your existing cash flow and keep your current product selling, so you keep seeing that inventory while you focus on expanding the business, adding new product offerings, adding new products in general, whatever you've got going on. We're happy to help with that.
And in that,
Yeah, I was going to ask you if they can launch the new product using funds based on their current sales. And Victor is supplementing this question with what are the requirements to be funded by 8Fig?
Sure, yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. As far as requirements go, we'll kind of start there. So 8Fig typically is looking for, you know, your moderately experienced seller. We're looking for a business that has been around for at a minimum of 6 months, right? So we're not starting the business and getting funding the same day. 6 months to a year is typically what we're aiming at. Depending on how well your existing product is performing, our requirements change a little bit. So I'll start at the very, very base level, right? We've got a year in business with about 100K in annual revenue, not profit, and recurring revenue monthly at around the $8,000 mark. That's kind of the base minimum requirement there. And we can, you know, accept an application, review it, review your sales data, and come back to you with an offer. Now, if you are, you know, blowing everything out of the water, if you're doing really well, if your product is selling like crazy, we can kind of switch up the requirement a little bit to our higher performing sellers at 6 months in business at 100K in revenue, not profit, and being on pace to 250K in annual revenue. So that is a little bit more, you know, aggressive, right? That would require a really strong product, a product that's selling really well. But, you know, it happens. It happens all the time. We talk to people every day that are selling that well, and it's definitely possible to do. I saw 60% of our revenue on Shopify. Yeah, we have API connections available for both Amazon and Shopify, and we work indirectly with most of the major e-commerce platforms, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, a lot of those. If at any point in time you want to, you know, discuss in a little more detail, we've got our QR code up here on the screen. You can get in contact with us. You can get in contact with me personally, or anybody on my team is just as knowledgeable, and we're always happy to help walk you through that application process.
excellent. Thank you, Tanner. We have one last question. How do I innovate in a product space with prevailing patents?
It's not actually the last question. We have some more here answering this question. But from the same person, from Nicholas, it was another question, I believe, to Tanner. Do you recommend a payment gateway only if I expand to the international marketplace?
I'm sorry, would you say that one more time? I lost you.
I think this question is to you. Do you recommend a payment gateway only if I expand to international marketplace?
You know, that's a really good question. And I'm not sure if I have a specific recommendation for you. It depends a lot, I think, on what platform you sell on, right? If you use Shopify, then maybe a gateway would suit you really well. If you're selling on Amazon, then they've kind of got it built in, right? So it's going to be tailored to your specific situation, the platform you're using, what product you're selling, how often you have international sales, I think all play a factor in that. If I were selling internationally, I would probably rely on the payment processing that the platform I'm using has. So it's hard to answer that one, yes or no, right? But I'm, you know, again, happy to connect with you afterwards and kind of go over your specific situation, and maybe I can help shed some light on that.
Thank you for answering. Guys, also the QR code that is in the middle will lead you to the Telegram chat where we are as Reach Momentum answering all the questions for free. Don't hesitate to ask them. When you're scanning, just join the chat. And if you have any questions after this webinar, or if you're watching the recording, so you can just jump right there and ask us. And I will combine two questions to the same answer. What are the factors that, hold on, it was someone just deleted, right? Please tell me which product cannot be selected as the first product. And I think the second question was, what is the best product to launch, or what is the best category to launch? So products that cannot be selected, generally speaking, there are hundreds, thousands of them that cannot be selected. I was creating recently the YouTube video that you can go on YouTube and search for my channel, just like look up Isabella Reed's Amazon Made Simple. And we've been listing the products that you shouldn't launch on Amazon. But generally speaking, the main rules are product that you cannot customize, product when you have a lot of overseas competitors and they are fighting for the market price. So you cannot go below, for example, or like you cannot increase the market price of your product because people are just literally fighting based on the same shape, same look. So you cannot launch the Me Too products, and you cannot go into the niche where the competitors on the page one like over 1,000 reviews every single one. So you have to be able to compete with the keywords and compete with the different type of custom, and you have to satisfy your customer, your audience, and your avatar as well. Because if people are searching for the product, it's like garlic peeler, and everyone is selling garlic peeler, all these garlic peelers are the same. You're just like, oh, I will be here on a site to sell the same garlic peeler. It's not gonna work. So you have to deliver value. If you're not delivering value, generally speaking, you are losing the market. And the last question is, I see we have to wrap up. Our parented products are protected by Amazon Apex program, and we've been able to take down knockoffs. Yes, be careful to trying to copycat. Serious sellers will use the Apex program. Yeah, that's true. So that's why the main approach, as I was showing you guys, you have to customize, you have to test it. And if you have any opportunity to go with like some type of association or something like that, that will be able to also approve your product, and it will not cost you much. It's in our case, it's just free. We just have to provide our products 5 of each, and they will just test them. Then this is the good way to go about launching your new product on Amazon. So, and from myself, thank you everyone for being active, for asking the questions, and join our chat so we'll be able to answer more of your questions, and 8Fig will help you to expand, and Trivium will help you to grow.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Isabella, and to Mina, who had to quickly hop off a second ago. But as a reminder, scan the QR codes, visit these links, chat with Rich, chat with Trivium, chat with us, and we will be happy to help you out. With that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And we will send the recording after this in case anyone had to drop off early, so you don't have to have any of this memorized. So thank you again, everyone, for joining and for your time. We will be in touch. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.